Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being here at the Bombay Stock Exchange for this Diwali special Market Masters. A round of applause for all of you for coming here in such large numbers. Now, when we thought about doing this show, the idea was that this Diwali, ET Now is celebrating wealth, prosperity, creation of wealth. And when we are thinking of doing a show like this, we could think of no better participants than the two gentlemen that you'll be hearing today, Vijay Kediya and Porinju Veliyath. Both in their own right are true wealth creators. And they have a common thing. They both started off with very humble beginnings. And therefore, when they speak out here today, you will realize the power that stays in equity markets. And you will feel that what a Vijay Kediya and a Porinju Veliyath can do in their lives is something that you and I can do in our lives as well. That is the whole essence of doing this Market Masters today. Let me welcome my fellow colleague and the Chief Editor Financial Markets of ET Now, Nikunj, on the stage.
Good evening, everyone. We would be discussing wealth creating ideas, what you may not make on this floor, but you can make in front of your trading terminal. So with that spirit of Diwali, let me welcome Vijay Kediya on the stage. Vijay? Okay, so what we'll do today is that we'll talk a little bit about Vijay's personal history. It's very inspirational for me. A little bit about his style of investing, and then a little bit about stock picking and where he's currently investing. And we'll talk about how should you really make money in achhe samay and bure samay. So, Vijay, the way you've always invested, and one of the rules you follow, is that think long term. Market एक जुए का अड्डा नहीं है. जैसे आप मार्केट को ट्रीट करेंगे, मार्केट आपको वैसे ट्रीट करेगा.
Correct.
Just elaborate on that. What is the purpose of stock markets? Everybody wants to create wealth and everybody wants to make easy money, but it's not that easy, right?
No, it's not easy at all. As I had mentioned this earlier also, that stock market is a place to make easiest money in the hardest way. So, as a layman, you can think it's very easy to make money. You buy today and sell tomorrow. You buy today, sell after 2 months, and you will get money and you will make wealth. That is impossible. This is not the place to make easy money.
So Vijay, over the years when you bought stocks, you've seen booms and busts. Things keep on changing in the stock market. So tell me 3 rules which you follow when you buy a stock. 3 rules where you will not compromise irrespective of how good or bad the stock is.
The best way to make money in the market is knowledge, courage, and patience.
Knowledge, courage, and patience.
Yes, these 3 things are very important. Knowledge to identify good company, good sector, good environment, and courage to buy in a good quantity, whatever money you have. I'm not saying that you put 100% of it, but it should be a substantial part of your holding. Otherwise, even if the stock multiplies, you will get nothing. So that is also very important. And the third thing is patience. You need to keep patience because you never know when the stock is going to move up. Even you buy a stock, it may not move for 2 years or 3 years. But if your story is right, your conviction is right, then you have to stick to your stock.
So now that we've really understood your thought process, let's look at a practical example. What are you buying now?
Now everybody knows that I bought Karnataka Bank. Company actually right now having a book of book to price is only 0.7, I think 0.7 or 0.8. Company has projected to double its turnover by 2020. And a simple yardstick which is going on in the banking industry is if a bank has, and it's a private sector bank, it's not a public sector bank. So a lot of people have this confusion. Okay, so usually the yardstick is this: if a bank is having a NIM of 3% plus and GNPA is below 1%, then usually they give a book to price of 2. Okay, even 3 and 4 also. So what my call is this: this year this company will have a NIM of 2.80, and by FY18 I think it will cross 3%, and GNPA will come down below 1%, and I expect that maybe in next 5 years business will double and book to price will also double. So I am expecting it to be a 3 baggers or 4 baggers by 2020.
Are you happy to own it for next 2-3 years?
Yeah, by 2020 I should be.
I think Karnataka Bank is coming out with the right issue.
Yeah.
Would you participate in the right issue?
Of course. It at 70 rupees like a mini bonus. I will apply more.
So Vijay, tell us something which is not in public domain.
Not in?
Public domain.
Okay, I recently bought Mahindra Holidays. Now it's an expensive shares actually. Let me tell you, I was expecting it to fall along with the market. Although market failed, but Mahindra Holidays did not fall. So out of temptation, you can say that I bought the stock. It's an
Is
expensive.
it a recent purchase? Is it a recent
Yeah,
purchase?
recent. I bought it day before yesterday.
Oh. Oh.
No, but it's an expensive stock. Please remember.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, it's 450, it is expensive. Because it is 450 rupees, it is not a 20 rupee stock.
No, that way, no, valuation wise.
Okay. What is your thesis? What is your thesis? Why did you buy it?
It's also simple. Now, tourism market in India is $112 billion as of now today. Okay. And they are projecting it to be $250 billion by 2020. 80% of this tourism market is coming from the domestic tourism. And this is where this Mahindra.
So if you bought an expensive stock, aren't you contradicting your investment style? Because you always say that buy a stock which is cheap, because if you buy an expensive stock, you will not make money.
Yeah, so I'm ready to wait for 1 year, 1.5 years or 2 years.
And do you think this could be a potential 3-4x?
Could be, it should be. Because right now, just imagine India is having 25 crore households in India, okay? And they have membership of just 200,000 members they have, Mahindra Holidays. So they themselves are expecting it to they have a potential to make it to grow to 9 times, maybe in next 10 years.
Neeraj, I'm going to give it back to you. He spoke about Mahindra Holidays. Our next speaker, Porinju, comes from this beautiful city, Kochi. And trust me, you don't need a Mahindra holiday there.
One thing that struck to me when Vijay was talking about Ramayana is that Ramji, Ramayana ki yudh jeette nahi if he didn't have one able ally with him. Who was that ally? Hanuman. Yeah, unless you have a very able ally and an advisor, you can't win battles. And what ET now has tried to do today is get you 2 Hanumans in the same venue to help you create wealth. So you heard one, that is Vijay Kediya. Now we hear the other one, Porinju Veliyath. Porinju, thank you so much for joining in. Let's talk about how the last 6 or 9 months have been, somewhat 2072. How has that been, according to you? And how do the next 12 months look like for the equity markets?
As far as the investing community, the stock pickers are concerned, I think somewhat 2072 was a great year. So that 2073 is coming up. Everybody is looking for that. And, mostly people are not sure about the valuations at this point of time, especially the small cap and mid cap. There are many kind of worries about the structure of the market, the way it's moving up. The hundreds of stocks have gone up. Doubling and going 5 times and 10 times, if you see a lot of small caps. Neeraj, if you remember, I have been talking since the last 2 years about the management turnarounds, the management quality of companies. This has been a subject of debate in the last 2 years because India has a very big relevance for this subject. When we all buy stocks, invest into stocks, even trade in stocks, this is something first coming to all our minds.
Yes.
And there are many market gurus, have been cautioning investors, don't buy companies with, dubious reputation, or the promoters who seems to be unethical or dishonest, or chore managements, should not go anywhere near to those companies. I remember I have been clearly advocating buying
into chore management?
Chore managements by perception in the last 2 years.
By perception.
If you see somewhat 2072, if you take the top 100 companies by gain, 95% of them with the highest gains in the last 1 year, they are companies with the so-called chore managements. And this is this is not something I'm talking as a joke. This will continue to be so next 1 year. The 2073, this will be the theme. So the question is, there are 2 kind of companies we had, if you look 1 year ago. On the one side, we had the chore managements at 7 P. I'm just telling an approximate figure, single-digit Ps. The other side, we had intelligent fanatics with 70 P. And those high-class companies with the very top-class professional managements, highly ethical and honest managements, they are underperforming in the last 1 year. You can see the data. The other side, they have gone 2, 3, and 5 times and 10 times, some of them. So why this is happening? Because when everybody talks about bad and good management, there is a tendency for those stocks to get underpriced. And what is happening, even today, for next year also, this is a very important aspect investors should bear in mind. Because India is changing. India is changing in every aspect.
Sure. Porinju, I just have a small follow-up to that though. Because what happens is a lot of times if people go out and after listening to you, start thinking that let me go out and buy some of these chore managements because they are cheap stocks, they might get caught in these stocks. How do you classify the good chore managements from the bad chore managements? Let me put it that way.
Let us put it the other way. The good companies with bad managements. Good companies mean good business model growing at 20-25%. And the business has got a relevance going forward. But it was badly managed all these years, all the decades perhaps. It was unprofessionally managed. Promoters were siphoning off money. They did not pay dividends properly. Those kind of issues. See, that is what I told, management turnarounds. The managements at inflection points. Why I told India is changing. See, why the promoters were remaining bad? That's a big question we all should think about. See, some of them were earlier, I'm talking the earlier, till now, in the last 10 years or 20 years, some of them were reluctant to pay taxes. You show, say, 20 crores profit, you have to pay 30-35% tax to the government. There was a tendency to avoid taxes. They were not willing to pay taxes. So they used to siphon out money or do something else. So in the process, the minority shareholders also suffered. The worst management, they want to take all the benefits. They don't want to even reward the minority shareholders. So they used to do things accordingly. They will merge a group company which had no value at a high price. So those kind of things were happening today, and siphoning out and creating black money. So India is changing in many of those aspects. It may not be possible going forward. It's going to be difficult for you to deal in large amounts of black money, siphon off money and take out money from the country itself. So thus the laws, the systems and processes are getting stricter. The GST is being implemented. That will be another block for the chore managements. So I'm telling you, many of those companies are available still at single-digit Ps, and these companies are growing at 15, 20, 25%. And the business has got a relevance going forward. So that is where you can still make money in somewhat 2073.
A lot of people ask this, that Porinju फार्म हाउस पे रहता है, ट्विटर पे रहता है, टीवी पे रहता है, रिसर्च कब करता है? So let's talk about the style of investing. Vijay was talking about the principles of Ramayana. What are those 2 or 3 things that you look for when you buy companies?
I have been not researching. I never researched as typically what people talk about. I'm not a person doing number crunching much, and I don't research more than 5-6 minutes on a company. To be very frank, I have never done it. But I'm aware. I keep my eyes and ears open. Of course, I don't keep my eyes open while sleeping. That's true. But it's a 24 hours thing. Once you are passionate about that,
sure,
any subject, not only about equity investing, you are living in that. So I live in equities. I'm always being aware of it, but very relaxed, because I have got a style of keeping investing and exploring equities very simple. I don't complicate it much.
What sectors, to your mind, look good for somewhat 2073? You talked about keeping eyes and ears open. Everybody has their eyes and ears open right now. Tell us about sectors, stock ideas that look good.
Again, Neeraj, I would say I'm not a very big fan of sector-wise investing. Even though we have sometimes
can give us stocks, no problem.
We have mentioned sectors. If you remember last Diwali, you asked me which sector. I talked turnaround sector, sugar. Sugar had a big run in the last 1 year. Now, see, pharmaceutical, one sector we all have been highly discussed in the last 2 years. See, last 1 year, I think the index, pharma index is down by 1 or 2% as on today, during the somewhat 2072. Biocon and another stock I know, Jubilant Life and many others, doubled. So what does it mean? It's not sector. So pharmaceutical sector did not perform. It is in negative territory this year. And there are many stocks, even popular stocks, doubled. So it shows the importance of stock picking.
Do you think there is more juice for Biocon? It's already doubled.
Biocon, in fact, I have booked profits, and we had shifted to another stock, which is also doing well. Biocon is one. It has run up I think it has more than doubled in last 1 year. So there's nothing exciting at this point of time for short-term investors. But I think it's a stock, it's a theme, and it's a concept stock. Numbers can start coming in the coming years.
Actually, you spoke about one more stock on ET now 3 months, 4 months ago, Jubilant Life. Even that is doubled.
That was Jubilant Life, that doubled in 3 months' time. So what was the point in being bearish on pharma last year? So there are stocks which are doubling when the industry is, the segment doing badly. So this is applicable to most other sectors. Now again, there are many sectors because of the technology, the disruption, disruption is affecting many industries as such. So smart stock pickers, they may find the new generation businesses like now. I have been looking at the e-governance companies. We have maybe 10, 20 e-governance companies, but those companies were going through some tough times, challenging times, because the environment is still not ready for that. But I think going forward, these companies are at an inflection point. They have built some business model, infrastructure, they have great people.
Sure.
So, and some of them may be, from Hyderabad, and people may not like it. Some of them may be doubting the management, but keep everything, on a watch. So some of those companies can be multi-baggers going forward.
Let me also open the floor for our questions. And for that, I would request Mr. Vijay Kediya to come on the podium as well. Porinju, just to be fair, Vijay has given one undisclosed idea in Mahindra Holidays. Yes?
Okay.
Now, you have to give us one undisclosed idea.
Okay, one stock I recently bought in portfolio management is Century Textiles.
What price did you buy it at?
I started buying a month ago. Stock has already doubled, if you see from the 52-week low, more than doubled. So this is a very widely, I think, discussed company. It's nothing, it's a large company of BK Birla now. I think around 10,000 crores market cap. They have some debt also, around 4,000 crores debt. I think the company is at an inflection point. Because I think this company is it's a famous, very old company, maybe a century-old company. It's having cement, around 13, 14 million tons cement. They have textiles, paper, and more importantly, the real estate assets this company owns, the prime properties. I think the value unlocking is happening. The market cap today is, I think, less than the worth of the real estate what they are doing, the assets what they are owning. And I think this company may likely to go to Aditya Birla, the Kumaramangalam Birla. So things can change.
So good to buy right now as well?
I think even at this price, at 10,000 crores market cap, around 14,000 crores of an enterprise value. Very simple. I think anybody can understand that. Just anybody can do that little maths. I think this can give decent return in the next 2-3 years' time.
Okay. Vijay, I remember in the last interaction that you did with Nikunj on air some time ago, 3 months ago, 4 months ago, you spoke about the NBFC space. I think you bought into, if I'm not wrong, LIC Housing Finance at some point of time. Now, tell us, that space has run up a lot. All of these companies are probably having a history that you spoke about as well. Do you think there is more upside for the housing finance companies?
Yes, I think so, because still there is a lot of demand of housing. And these are, I think, in NBFC, housing finance companies are the safest bet.
Okay.
Yes.
But you would bet on housing finance as compared to a lot of other NBFCs because everything in NBFC is doing well.
No, but I have bought only LIC Housing Finance.
Okay, and you're still bullish on that?
Yeah.
Okay, fair call. Adequate disclosure. The next question is for Vijay Kediya. I don't have a name here, but Vijay, he's saying he wants your view on the specialty chemical as well as the bearing industry. I don't know if you've invested into bearing companies, but you've certainly invested into specialty chemicals, I know.
Also.
What are your, also. So you want to elaborate on that, Vijay?
Yes, specialty chemical is now, everybody is talking since because of the China, India had as an advantage. And I think this thing is going to be there for maybe for next 3, 4, 5 years. So I expect this sector to do well. And I'm invested into specialty chemical, extrusion chemical.
Right.
That is specialty chemical.
Sure.
And another bearing industries, I am of the opinion that going forward bearing industry should do well.
Okay.
Because it's again a laggard sector for many years.
Okay.
So I've invested into ABC bearings. That is why I think this question
that's what the question is also as well, but I didn't,
Yeah.
Okay, but so you don't think specialty chemical companies have already run up a lot, Vijay?
No, they have run up a lot. Obviously,
Sudarshan
they are
Chemical,
not
I think,
cheap.
has trebled
Of
or
course.
something like that,
No,
or more
it's
than
not
that.
cheap.
Yeah.
Yes. So they may give you, you can say, a time-wise correction.
Huh.
Yeah, maybe they may not rise for next 6 months or 1 year.
All right.
The story is not over.
Okay.
Price-wise may be expensive.
Okay. You buying expensive stocks, Vijay? Mahindra Holiday is expensive. You're saying that you don't mind buying expensive stocks these days, huh?
No, I'm not buying Sudarshan now. I bought in 2014.
Okay, fine.
Yeah, I'm not buying now.
Okay, fair call.
Yes.
Okay, but you believe the story is still intact, they still
Yes.
have some way to go.
Yes.
Okay. There is a question, again, I don't have a name, and then I'll get to some others as well, Porinju, and that is for you on Tata Global Beverages.
Wow,
Now,
it's good.
the problem I think is that it's not moved enough, or it's not moved virtually. Tata Global Beverages, everybody knows it's got Starbucks, it's got a lot of things, but doesn't move. So what will happen to this one?
Yeah, this is a stock I have been holding for some time. Not only Tata Global Beverages, Tata Coffee, and I can group one more company into that consumers theme I am playing. One is FCEL. FCL is, of course, it has moved in the last 2 years. If you see, it has more than doubled.
But the last
Future
1 year it
consumer
hasn't
enterprises.
gone anywhere.
Last 1 year, these companies have been underperforming or have been stagnant. I am very bullish on these stocks at this point of time. At least for next 1 year, Tata Global Beverages, I think it's again at an inflection point. There are some changes. Stock has moved in the last few weeks. These stocks are moving up. Even Tata Coffee, I'm telling you, is a very, very valuable company, available at around 2,500 crores market cap today. They are 8 o'clock coffee, the brand and the business in US. And it's a very valuable company. Both these companies, I expect a 50% return in the next 1 year time. I am holding both. So you
50% return, you said Tata Global
50%.
Beverages?
Yeah,
50, right?
that's right.
Not 15.
Not 1.5.
Yeah. A gentleman in the second last row, yes please.
I've been hearing to Mr. Kediya ji. So he was telling that you have to just take the judgment based on the bad management or good management or chore management or whatsoever it is. I would like to know how you can decide the chore management or the bad management or good management in such a huge equity market. Can you just tell me some points on to take the judgment on the good management and bad management?
Vijay, I have a follow-up there to his question that you probably have the access to managements as well at times, which a lot of our friends out here don't. So how do they identify a good and a bad management?
No, I don't need
Chore management for him as such.
Also, chore management for Porinju as well. But Vijay, you first.
आपकी चोर मैनेजमेंट में मेरे को एक बात याद आया पहले मैं वो एडिशन करना
Of course, of course, please.
विथ ड्यू रिस्पेक्ट टू चोर मैनेजमेंट और दिस मैनेज दैट मैनेजमेंट मेरे को एक दीवार पिक्चर का एक डायलॉग याद आया वो शशि कपूर बोलता है अमिताभ बच्चन को कि भाई जिस रास्ते पे मैं चल रहा हूँ उसका परिणाम अच्छा भी हो सकता है बुरा भी हो सकता है लेकिन तुम जिस रास्ते पे चलते हो उसका परिणाम सिर्फ बुरा ही होता है तो बराबर है तो ये परिभाषा चोर मैनेजमेंट की पहला बात तो ये समझिए अभी दूसरा क्वेश्चन क्या था इनका एक्चुअल क्वेश्चन क्या
How do you identify a good management from a bad management?
No, you have to see the previous track record of the management, how they have performed in the bad times. That is the best way to judge a management, that how they have performed in their bad times, in the bad times of the economy, how did they sail through from that phase. So that would give you a fair idea that how the capability of the management is.
So a vote of thanks firstly to all of you for joining us here. I think we've spoken about this event on Twitter and on air, and we really thank you for coming here. A round of applause, and a round of applause for our guests out here, Porinju Veliyath and Vijay Kediya. Lastly, before all of you leave, gentlemen, just 1 minute. Lastly, before all of you leave, I just want our marketing and our production team to just raise their hands because they have put up a lot of effort to get this show on. So I think we should really applaud them. Our entire marketing and production team. Guys, superb job. Thank you so much. And audience, thank you for joining me today.
Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/etnow and don't forget to click the like button. You can also follow us on Twitter at etnowlive. To stay updated with all our programming, hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel by logging on to youtube.com/user/etnow.